Teta que falexin.
So what do you think about this? You saw 28 days later? No, 28
Yeah, I
years later.
did see. 28, I say the same thing. 28 days later. Yeah, 28 years later. Yes, I did. Yes, I did, man.
So what do you think of, what do you
Well,
think?
there's some parts that I loved, some parts, but some parts I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't 100% understand the choices they made. Like that, like, okay, let's just go out straight from the gate, the baby, the
Yeah.
baby. Like it's just there's no way an infected will have a baby that's not infected. And they say, oh, the magic of placenta or some shit. He said it. Oh, look at the magic because the baby is not infected.
Well, isn't that the whole? Did you watch or play the game The Last of Us? You watched the
Of
show?
course,
But
of course.
isn't that the whole deal of that is like that's how she's immune is that she was born from a mother who was bit. But it's a little different. She had her while she was like changing. At least that's what the show made it out to be. I don't know if the video game ever explained it. Remember in the show, her mother was like bit. Before she completely changed, she had the baby. This is a little bit different. I don't really get how it worked. I also think they were just trying to go for like a shock factor. They were just trying to do crazy, weird things. But honestly, like in the time since the first one came out, we've had so much zombie material. You had The Walking Dead, you had like Shaun of the Dead, you got Zombie Land. Like we kind of had a big phase of zombie stuff. And I think none of that felt too. It all felt like this could have been an episode of The Walking Dead.
Oh no,
They've been on the press tour like bragging a lot about how they're like kind of the godfathers of zombie stuff. I was like, I'm not sure if that's true. Like I remember like in the US it was the what really I mean people liked 28 Days Later, but I feel like what really took off the zombie genre here was that what's the one in the mall where everyone's stuck in the mall together?
Yeah, wasn't it what's his name? The Batman versus Superman director? Zack Snyder.
I remember that being on TV all the time, and like Shaun of the Dead being on TV all the time. I was curious about your
Yeah.
theater experience too, because there's censorship is different, and I don't know what
Yes.
can and can't see. I want you to tell me about that because here, I don't know if you're seeing the memes. But like the big takeaway is that the alpha, zombies have
I
like
had the
huge
biggest did
swing.
you
And
say?
I was like, is that was that something in your theater experience? Or did they blur them out, or did they?
No, they blurred them out. It was like literally
Uh,
you see the zombies and they just had the blur. They just had the blur. I
that's
swear. I've
hilarious.
never seen that before.
That makes it.
Usually they would just cut
Mm.
it, but they didn't cut it.
Where did you go? Where did
Yeah.
you see it?
Oh, I went to just a normal theater. Nothing,
In
just a
what in the
small.
city? There's
Yeah,
no
in Muscat, I went.
in
Yeah,
Muscat. Oh, okay.
yeah. I went to the Capitol, and actually, I rewatched recently. I rewatched 28 days later, and I rewatched 28 weeks later, like literally like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And so I was super excited when this movie came out, and I loved both of them. So if I had to rate it, I would rate the first one 9 out of 10, the second one 8 out of 10, and this one I would rate 7.5. So it's not like I hated it, but I feel like it's the weakest out of the three for
I mean,
me
it's
personally.
not a very coherent series anyway. Like no one really liked the second one very much.
I
And
love them.
I think they're well, I
I,
think there's also
I
something distinctly what I realized rewatching them that I didn't really remember is that they don't really imply that it's spread out of the UK. Like they're really focused on that's really they made it stuck there or whatever. It's like the UK has collapsed, but there's no implication. Like in the latest well in the sequel, there's the American soldier that they bring in, and then now in the newest one, the third, there's the Swedish soldier who kind of comes in. So it like
yes,
implies that other places are okay, and they're like coming in as like reinforcements or help or
yes,
yeah. So
yes, yes, yes,
it's very
yes.
everything about it's very inherently British, and that's why I find that ending very interesting. That Jimmy guy, I've never
So
heard of. So I
I
think
heard of him, but it flew my mind. And my first thought was like, oh shit, they're gonna like molest him or something. But no, because I
right.
read the interview because like you said, like in 2001, he was a hero. So they still think of him as a hero. They don't know
I
that
think
he's
so. Yeah, it's like I guess that's what they're implying is like they would have never you know he would have never had his fall from grace, so he could still in their minds be this like this person they live up to. But also really interesting there. There's a few things really interesting about that. That's actually the scene that sticks out with me the most. Like I loved a lot of things going on. I love the memento mori, the kind of monuments and that story about as like we saw him putting the bodies on the ground. We're like getting the fuck out of here. We're never coming back again. And he just like waves at
yeah,
them. Then once you meet him, it's like, oh yeah, he's doing something that he thinks is you know, nice and morally, I don't know, justifiable to say goodbye to humans, whatever. Um,
yeah.
so that's all really interesting. But I keep coming back to that last scene the most. At the start of the movie, you see someone brings in a little boy, who I'm pretty sure his name is Jimmy.
Yeah.
Even that is really interesting because right from the get go, you see and that's supposed to be the opening of like that's 28 days later. It's when the things first start happening that you can see the parents don't really know what to do, so they're putting all the kids in one room. There's like stay here. They turn the TV on. Teletubbies is on TV, and the kids are just like. But I think they're implying that is Jimmy. That's this kid
Yes.
grows up to be the guy we see in the end. But not only that, I think it's really interesting because the next thing we introduce is this sort of rite of passage where Aaron Taylor Johnson's character is bringing his son out to learn to fight and like to not hide. I mean, the first thing you see is them like hiding their kids away and like, oh, da, da, da. And oh, I forgot to skip the thing. It's really interesting. So they're like, so now it's like this rite of passage where I'm gonna bring him out. He has to go out into the mainland, kill a zombie. He's the age is usually in the teenage years. He's like, no, he's ready, whatever. He's trying to like toughen him up, younger than he was. But the very first thing he does, if you remember, like when the kid's packing his bag to leave, he's got this
Oh
um,
yes,
Power
Power
Ranger
Rangers.
toy, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
stops and he's like, no, I'm not going to bring it. Like it's like I'm leaving my childhood behind. It's time for me to be a man. I'm not going to bring the Power Ranger thing, right? So he leaves it behind. Da, da,
uh,
da. So all that stuff's really interesting. All that to say, when they find the zombie hanging upside down, the words carved into his chest are Jimmy. And I
Jimmy.
didn't.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
before that, there's the words on the wall. They pass by this thing. It says or God is returning, and it says God return Jimmy or Jimmy. It's like they're
yeah,
anyway. It's throughout the movie. It's kind of thrown at you a few times without you really knowing what it means, and then you finally comes to this scene, which is a huge like tonal shift. Like it really much implies that the music's kind of like it's doing what it's done the whole movie. Kind of like the music momentum is building. Okay, this is the final scene. So
yeah,
I'm like literally like starting to like stand up. I'm like, okay, this is it. He's just doing his monologue, and then suddenly
yeah,
you got this like Power Ranger scene. These guys like flipping around. They're all wearing like bright colors. So it's really interesting that you open up with that scene with the Power Ranger, and it cuts these
yeah.
people in the end in their bright colors doing the flips. Just like obviously, you know, designed to be shot just like that. I mean, I think to remind you of that. Because like the same kind of thing, the camera's pointing at the sky and they're doing flips over it. But
Uh,
but I saw the director saying something really interesting too. That to him, well, at least I think it implies where it's going in the sequel. But to him, he said he read it and it reminded him of a Clockwork Orange. So I think these Jimmies, this gang is a lot like that gang that we see, throughout the Clockwork Orange and obviously some kind of messed up stuff. So to him, it reminded him of that. And it's the same guy who played the main vampire in Sinners.
Sinners. Yeah,
Yeah. So I like him. He's
yeah,
a good
yeah.
actor. I'm curious to
He's
see.
a great actor.
Curious to see where it goes, but that scene was came out of nowhere. Suddenly I was like, what? And I don't know how to take it. Like, I've seen the theories that maybe he's hallucinating like his mom or something, or maybe I kind of see it of like he sees them as like these cool hero like figures.
But
It's
I
funny.
love the ending. I loved it. I loved the whole Jimmy thing. It's such a good like a because I didn't know how they're gonna end it. Right? I thought he was just gonna bring home the kid, but he leaves the kid, and then he
Right.
says, "I'm gonna go on my own." And the very first time he's on his own, he's about to die. Like he'll be dead if the Jimmy
Right.
doesn't pull up. He's dead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's interesting. I like the way they did.
But
I
it's all, but
like that.
also that's one of the things that annoyed me about it too is that almost every time, like no one, I don't think, is there even a death from, oh, I guess the Swedish guy. But like almost
Yeah.
every time, like getting chased and they get saved. I also don't know why in the end there when they both go to hide underground, why didn't he just shoot it before when Samson comes back? It's like he waits till the thing grabs him. I don't know. There's some things where like unnecessary drama. Like the really honestly, the zombie stuff kind of took the back seat. Really, like it is like the movie was about zombies, which is fine by me. Like neither was the first one. Really, that wasn't really what they're going for, you know. But it I don't know. It kind of it took some of the stress out when you're like, oh, he's just gonna get saved again. Um,
Yeah.
but also, it was hard for me to believe that he went out that first time. You know, had an awful time. He was really scared, and then he was just like, "Me and mom are leaving. We're out of here." I was like, "What?"
But my biggest complaint, the biggest thing, and I'm weird because I looked online for reviews and everyone says the opposite. But for me, his acting, the kid's acting
Mm,
was horrible. It was
mm.
bad. And everyone's like, oh, he was amazing. I was like, no, there's so many, like, there's like kids acting, like, there's so many good kids actors. But him, he sucked. He sucked ass. He was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I did not believe him at
Yeah,
all. And it's like that's my main gripe with the movie is that every time the camera was on him, I was like, dude, I don't know.
there's a
I
lot of
don't
kind of
know.
fumbling. Like,
Yes,
uh,
he should have been maybe a little bit older. Maybe that way you
well,
could
that's the thing.
justify
I
him
wonder,
going.
yeah, we continue to follow him into the next movies because they've got
Yes,
apparently a second and a third one planned.
but
If this is meant to
but no, no,
be,
no. They shot it back to back. It's already shot. The second one is already
oh,
done. They
that's right,
literally
because it's coming out like soon, right?
yes, it's
Like
in post
December or
production.
something.
And what I hear
Yeah.
the plan is that once the second one comes out, if those two successful, they will make a third one that Danny Boyle will come back and direct.
If it had just ended with the boy like out there fending for himself, which I still don't. It doesn't really feel earned to me. Like that arc never worked. Like his dad slapped him once, right? I'm not saying I warrant it, but his dad slapped him, and then he's like,
Um,
get out of here. I'm out of here. I'm taking mom with." I was just like, "What? This is quite a turn." Especially when I feel like,
say
especially when I feel like you told me, you said it's about regression, right? It felt like they were trying to
yes.
imply that they even showed us the roles in the community. There's like hunters, the hunters gatherers, whatever else. Like they're obviously showing there's this idea that men would be I think warriors, whatever, and providers. So even going back, if you call that regression, maybe even though that's whatever, this idea, even that. So I don't know. It's not. Anyway, I guess what I'm getting at is probably not too uncommon or too frowned upon that your dad would slap you around in these times. You know what I mean? Like I don't. He was already such like a I don't know. It was an interesting dynamic, but he was pretty nice to him throughout the experience when they're out fighting the zombies, and they get home, and he says, are you gonna cheat on mom?" And he's like, slaps him suddenly, and then just complete turn for the kid. Kid just suddenly like that's what made him the man. That's kind of what it implies, which I guess is fine. Maybe that's what they're going for. Is like that's forcing the zombies on him, couldn't do it, but seeing his dad, suddenly turn on him, it was interesting to me because there's like fear initially, and then within seconds he's pushing back. He just like get out
Yeah.
of here. I don't know. It didn't work. It wasn't earned to me. It didn't feel like it was earned. I
It's
would
the
have,
acting, man. The
yeah,
acting
maybe.
sucked. The kid didn't know how to act as fuck, man. I don't know why they hired that guy. And he's gonna carry the second movie too, man. Oh my God, man.
I don't think he
Oh,
was awful.
he was awful, man.
I think that's more of like a story problem or like a script problem. Like that's not they didn't earn it. And maybe you're right. Maybe a performance could have sold it. You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe a performance could have like we really see a turn there, but instead it felt like he immediately like runs upstairs, hugs his mom. The dad comes in the room. This is literally seconds after the slap. I mean, the slap
Yes.
happens. Seconds later, he's hugging the mom, and then he's like, "Get out of here! Get away from me and my mom!" And then within the same day, the kid goes and starts a fire in his community to sneak out, all because he heard there might be a doctor. Like this stuff is wild. You have no reason. He
Wow.
saw a fire, no reason to believe anything else. But I'm gonna go find this doctor, and thank God it turned out to be okay. Like thank
Yeah.
God that was
Yeah.
actually not a wild man, or like they said, he's crazy. I guess he is a little crazy, but not. You know what I mean? Like it was just all. It was a leap to me. It was a big leap. Like you kind of started with progression of things that made sense, and it was just suddenly a huge leap.
Yes.
And even with the,
Yes.
I really like the actor who played the mom too. I think she's Cromer,
Oh, Jodie
Comer.
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 Yes.
I think she's really good. And
Amazing.
there's some
Amazing.
interesting stuff in this where she's like, but even then, another jump that happens too quick. Everything just sort of like another leap was like, hey, guess what? You're dying. And she's like, okay, well, would you knock out my son, please, with your special, what I mean? There's that other communication of just through the eyes where she's like, okay, yeah, shoot my son with morphine, please. And then go take me and burn my bones. Like he just, instead of like letting her die, they went and killed her. And it was, I don't know, they just made a lot of leaps. Just made a lot of leaps really quickly. And then suddenly he was like, again, other leap is like, you know what? I want to go live on my own. I'm just going to eat fish. What? How is that? Why is any of that earned when especially when I think what would have been interesting had he gone back in and gotten his Power Ranger or something. I don't know. I don't know what the end implies. If not, he's still looking for some. There's still a child in him. Maybe he views them as heroes, or maybe that. I mean, what do you think? Is that really happening? Are they really flipping around like that, or is it in his head?
Well, see, I saw the reel, the Instagram reel.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's a leap to. I kind of.
There's no reason I would to imply that he's seeing it in his imagination to me. Like, unless you think that he like also has his mom's cancer, which I don't know why he would. You know what I mean? Why is he wouldn't be hallucinating. So I assume it's real. But I was
I
curious
assume
what you
it's
think.
real too.
Yeah.
I assume it's real too because I feel like maybe that's the whole idea is that these guys are so like out of it.
Right.
You know
It's
what I
it's
mean?
fun for them. It's a game,
Yes.
like
It's like
which is not
it's
too
like
like yeah.
anarchy type of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
No rules. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And they probably have been doing this a long time and they already know. But here's a thing. They should all have fucking goggles, bro.
That was
Goggles,
bothering
bro.
me. That
That's
was bothering me. There was a lot of up close deaths in this one. Also, like when he shot the pregnant woman, the mom's standing right beside her. I was like, the first movie you told us blood gets on you. Get out of here. They made no big deal of it in this one. He's like, "Oh, mom, you got some on you." Remember that part? He just like wipes it off. Don't worry, I got it. I was like, "What? What are you guys talking about?" Messed up your whole logic of the first. They were not bothered by being close to the death at all in this. That drove me nuts. All they got to
and the
do is
and the most memorable scene in the first movie was that when the father that thing
yes, the
dropped on
crow.
his
It's like a
that was
crow.
that
Yeah,
was so memorable. I remember that shit,
I remember. Me
man.
too. I remember like you're like you do like this. Oh my god
Yeah,
moment. This like they take it away from you. They're like as soon as you go like oh don't worry you can just do that
don't
now.
worry.
Like
It
blood
would
flying.
just
You would think like
splat.
she's just right there holding the baby. Blood was splatter on the baby too. Instead nothing. I was like all
Nothing.
right that's fine. There's other moments like that too. Even just like standing this close to the zombie. All these kind of moments from like because they've sort of taken the danger out of it. They made it seem like even these people at the end are like, whoa. Like you said,
That's
none
true.
of them protecting themselves. They're getting blood everywhere. I think in their minds the baby thing was shocking, like shock value. Like I'm gonna have and I was like surely not because like they showed the pregnant one earlier. Like you saw her like walking, and I was like please don't have the baby fall out. Like, that's gonna be so stupid. And then 20 minutes later, there it is happening in the bus, and I was like, oh god damn it. Because it doesn't really add up. Then also he's like, you gotta get out of here. It needs milk, or it's gonna die. And they never like it never shows them. I'm assuming once they got back to the village, the baby got some milk. It wasn't he was just like dribbling water in its mouth all that time. Like just yeah.
And he was so
Yeah, I
clean
don't
too.
know.
The baby was so clean. I mean, there's no way that baby's so clean. It's
It
in
just
the
it just would have
it,
died in the yeah. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't get why they
that's
thought that was necessary plot line. You know, it didn't need that
and
plot line.
and and also the whole the doctor. Okay,
Yeah.
he's just too mopey. His dialogue was just it's just oh the death and it's just too. Have you seen Conclave? Have you seen Conclave,
Yeah,
the
yeah, of
old
course.
movie?
Yeah.
That was a mopey ass movie, bro.
Oh, I
There's
love
just
I
so
love
much.
that movie.
He was just too good in Conclave, and in this one, it seems like he's just too good. You know, he's this morally amazing guy that just has no faults. He's like he's the best. He knows
I don't know.
everything.
It's
Blah
hard
blah
to know.
blah.
He did like he didn't. I thought he was gonna offer to take the kid in. He didn't. You know, he's like, it's time for you guys to go. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
what he's gonna do with the kid?
I
He
don't
knows the
know.
kid got. I mean, the one thing I would probably would have been better if he would have taken the kid back to the thing. But then again, the kid went back normal, no problem.
I
Anyway,
know that was another thing. He's like, time for you to go, and the kid just walked home. I was like, all
just walk
right,
home.
well,
Then with the
no
baby,
problem.
yeah,
Yeah, and turn right back
yeah,
around before
yeah.
the tide. Yeah, it was a bit much there, but
But I love the music. I love the atmosphere. The cuts, the little different cuts they did with the. What do you think of the cuts? Like they had the soldiers and they had the arrows and
yeah, I was
shit.
gonna
What do
ask
you
you
think
what
that?
you. I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna ask you what you thought it represented means. Like they did a lot of interesting things with the editing. They also almost like a bullet time effect with a lot of the kills for some reason. When there's a
It's
zombie
true.
kill, you do like a, they did this,
Yes.
which maybe it was just I don't know. It was very cool effects. It made it seem like it really was an arrow going through a head. Maybe it was. I'd like to see how they did that. They did this sort of wraparound bullet time effect, like at least halfway, to kind of show you quick three images of a headshot or a neck shot into a zombie. But you're right. Then a lot of during like the training with the arrows, it cut to an old movies.
Alex Garland said it's about regression. Regression, something about to do with like going back.
Uh,
Like remembering the good old times that weren't really that good or something along those lines. And and also you said in the second movie, the end, the zombies went to Paris. Remember that? So they
yeah.
did escape.
Well, that's
But
well,
but I
but I think this movie kind of retcons that. Like
yes, it does.
I think it just like
They
it pretends like that movie never happened.
never happened, which I
They,
hate, but I understand. I
yeah.
understand.
Well, They don't. I think they didn't have as much to do with it. Like Alex Garland didn't write
Yeah,
that one.
yeah,
So they're
yeah.
just kind of like, no, that wasn't our idea. But I
No,
that's see in
no.
my head when I heard 28 years later, I was thinking, okay, that means spread. That means worldwide, you know, zombie epidemic. And instead, they're like, no, we still got it on, stayed here
Just this
somehow in the
island.
UK. And I'm like, I don't. I mean, it's great, I guess. But even the whole, even the what's these movies, the Quiet Place. Even you've seen
Yeah.
those, even those, like it spread globally quickly.
But but I feel like that's the original. Because if they had a global thing, it would have been like any other zombie movie. But this one is just this one
Yeah.
island, and that's it.
Well, also, and like I said, they're also trying to keep it particularly British. I think they really value that.
Yes,
That's why they've done this
yes,
new Jimmy villain. Is like just to once again be
yes.
like, see, you're either in on it or you're not. And I was not in on it. I didn't know what that was. I was like, they look like I don't know, some almost like some Russian guys on Brighton Beach.
That bulletin. Did you see that picture? How they did the bullet time? They just had iPhones. They just had a bunch of iPhones.
Oh, so they
It was
have
just
shown how
literally
they do
like
it.
yeah,
So you think that's a
it's just
prop?
about
So is it a prop head? And they're
no,
like
no. They have
putting
the
an arrow through
zombie.
it? That's what I mean. Zombies
The
prop fake zombie head, or is it?
Well, the photo I saw is just him standing, the zombie standing, and they had like a rig, and they had like 15 iPhones just
Huh.
plugged together like that, and they just had that thing. And the idea was that when they made the first movie, the 28 days later, it was really low budget, and they used really like VCRs, those cameras that you use to like shoot
Yeah.
like. So it was really low budget cameras, and they decided to use like have the same aesthetic. They didn't just use iPhones; they used other cameras, but they all were
Yeah.
lightweight,
I've seen that. I've seen a
cheap
lot of
cameras.
misinformation going on around that. People are like, "Oh, they shot an iPhone." It's like sort of.
Not,
They shot a lot of
uh,
extra add-ons and lenses. Also saw some misinformation around the first movie. They were saying that they shot it without any permits and stuff for those empty London scenes. I was like, no, they had permits. They just had like 2 hours to get it all.
yeah, romance. It's called romance. The
Yeah.
romantic. They romanticize the filmmaking process.
Yeah.
I don't know what the budget is. You never know what the budgets are these days.
Oh, 60 million, maybe
60
75
million.
million. But first 28 days later was only 8 million,
8 million.
the original.
Adjust for inflation though.
Yeah. Not just that would be now you couldn't even pay Cillian Murphy to have a day for 8 million.
No way.
That's why I think the end is actually the most exciting part, is because it's kind of like the superhero market. Like, it's a little oversaturated. Like nothing was that unique besides, massive big dicks on zombies. Like, that's new, I guess.
Which I didn't see.
Sorry, dude, you missed it. Get the DVD.